Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is B. Today we're going to continue with the AIGuard and we're gonna add more behavior to the behavior tree. The red robot, this one, will be able to detect the player and follow it around. It will look like this. I'm gonna escape from jail first. And you will see the red robot coming, and as soon as the robot turns around, it will follow the player. Now. And now it points at me and I can't move anymore. A few announcements. I decided to put all the source code and the written tutorials on itch.io, so anybody can access the project files now. This is my web page in itch.io, and I have both the endless runner and the stealth. And as you can see, I have everything right here, and I keep updating with new project files and new tutorials. Remember, we have a Discord to talk about the project, the game that I'm working on, Witchery Academy, or we're gonna talk about Unreal. So if you join our Discord server, you can get these project files for free. And we have a dedicated channel for the tutorials, for Unreal, for programming, so we can talk about all of that there. About Witchery Academy, well, you know, it's a live scene simulator where you are a wizard or witch student and you attend this magical academy and you have different classes. Well, this past week we've been working on the botanic class where you have this piece of land and you can plant, grow and harvest some fresh veggies for cooking or for other things. And as you can see, this is a sneak peek. This is what we have. We have more. We're working on that right now, and we have some carrots, some aubergines, pumpkins, and we will have more. It's gonna be very, very fun to work on this mechanic. You can follow the development of the game on our Discord or in social media. We are in Twitter, Instagram. Follow us and receive all the updates. Let's start with the tutorial. We have the red character here, and if we play right now, on the last video we left it like this. So it's just a simple patrol. The guard will patrol different points, and if we go to the behavior tree, you can see we still have the weight, get the next weight point. Remember, this is a list with the different waypoints on the scene, and it will get the next one available, move to that one, and finally rotate to that waypoint. And this is in loop, so it will keep doing this over and over again. Now we're gonna add the perception, so that character, this robot, will be able to detect the player. As you can see, it has the sight, perception and the hearing. We are only gonna use the green one, which is the eyes. For this, we need to change the code of the AIGuard in C++. Remember, the AIGuard extends from a character, and to have the perception, we are gonna use this component, U-Pawn Sensing component. We're gonna need a few things, extra things. One is the event for the on-pawn scene. This is one of the events that you have available here. You also have one for hidden, but in this tutorial we're gonna only use this one. So it has to be an if function, otherwise it won't work. Next, we have a blueprint implementable event on player scene detected. This is gonna be handy to just raise an event inside our blueprint AIGuard and start doing more logic. Next, we have a U property with the detected player. So as soon as we detect a pawn, we will keep this reference. This will become handy as well on the blueprint AIGuard and on the behavior tree. If we go to the CPP, first thing, as usual, we need to add the component. Don't forget to add the include. And we need to add the event, this pawn scene. On pawn scene is very simple. So I usually like to check the null references. Then we take the pawn and we cast to a main character, which is our main character, the robot, the other robot that is in jail that you control. Another check, and finally we just send the event so it will be received on the blueprint. If we compile the code, you will see that you have the new component right there. And the values that I'm using is for hitting 500, for the threshold of hitting the end of the hitting 650, and then the site radius is 1000. So that's the site. You can extend that, but I think it's enough for this small level. That's something that you have to adjust yourself. I also changed the peripheral vision angle to smaller ones. Now if we go to the event graph, and if we after compile, you will see that you have the detected player that we set on C++, and this event. This is the custom event that I declared. So you can just type event and then on player in detected, and it will give me that one. This is a function, a helper function that I created for modify the Blackboard and add a reference to detected player and this variable. Let's move on now to the Blackboard and start working on this. So this is our current Blackboard behavior tree, and the Blackboard doesn't have math, so we're gonna need a boolean, which is going to be is player sunset. So this will be used as a decorator to see if we can we want to do something on the branch or not. You will see how this works. Yeah. The next one is an object and is the actor detected. In this case, it will be the player. So we can call this detected actor. Type object, and it has to be an actor. Important to set this correctly. And the last one is another boolean, which is not really necessary, but I decided to add it just for sanity checks. And this is basically guard action completed, and it's a way to finish with the whole logic and not do anything else on the behavior tree. Let's move on now to the behavior tree, and now we're gonna have different branches. So this will be the default behavior, the patrol, but we're gonna have a secondary one when we detect when the guard, the red robot detects the player. Let's first add a selector, because we're gonna have two branches, one for this side and another one when we detect the player. We need another sequence. Okay, so in this branch, the first thing happens is the guard will move to something, and in this case, instead of target detection, it will be the detected player. Next thing, important to set the radius here, because this will move toward this actor, and it's important to set this to right like 100, but stop before that and not being like right in top of the character. So make sure to set that in a reasonable radius. The next thing we want to do is to make the player to completely stop. So for that we need a new task, a new custom task, which I'm gonna call stop player. Because I have another one, I'm gonna call this second one. Okay, so we can come here and use that one. Okay, it has nothing inside, but we are just doing the script part. Okay, next thing we can play the pointing animation. So that's a built-in node. And we can select all the animations attached to the character that we are using. So I already have a pointing animation, but you can use other animation that you like or don't use it. So this kind of works. So remember, this is from Mixamo, so this character works with the rig Mixamo, so I can use any type of animation from there. And finally, we're gonna have another custom node, which is going to be like stop completely all of this. Let's create a new one, and we can call it something like mark guard action completed, and I'm gonna set that to. And this task, the only thing it's gonna do is tick what the Blackboard boolean to true. And so now I can use that one. There. We're almost done. Now we have to add some conditions. So if we leave this way, what is gonna happen is gonna be here, the selector, and we'll start doing these elements. And then when it finishes, it will go here. So that's not what we want. What we want is to select one or the other. How do we add conditions? Well, we have decorators. Decorators is basically like a condition. So I basically use decorators to check elements on the Blackboard, and that's what we are going to do. So here we only want to do these brands if we have the detective actor set, which is not null. That's one of this one, and if the player has been sensed. So this is true. When these two happen, we'll do that branch. Otherwise, it will go to the default one, which is the lower priority. Okay, so basically, we just need to add a decorator, and in this case, it's Blackboard. And then we need to select the boolean first. So if the player sends it, then it's set to true. Then nice, we want to do this. And also if the other one is set, which is it's not null. So let's go there, and then instead of that, this one, the detected actor is set. And now we can set some priorities. So as soon as this is set, we can do something here. So what we could do is just abort cell. So lower priority. So as soon as this is sensed, it will just discard all of this and move on to this one. Okay, remember we have this mark guard action completed. We want to use that as well. So when this happens, so imagine we are in this branch. So the guard is in patrolling, and then it detects the player. So this will be discarded and come here and start doing these elements. The last one is to complete, to mark this card as complete. Don't do anything, so I don't want any of these branches to work. So for that, we have that boolean also. So here we are going to add another selector like that, and this will have another decorator, and basically we're going to use that guard action completed, not set, because I want this to happen, this both happen if it's false, which is not set. And this selector, to leave it like not like that, like empty, we're gonna use a simply wait with, for example, 1000, so we'll get stuck there. And this is basically the script. Now we still have to do a few things. One is this element is completely empty. We also have this thing, and we need to do something on the blueprint. Let's start with the blueprint first. The Blackboard needs to have set this variable and that variable from the Blackboard. This and this. This is gonna happen on the blueprint card. And that's gonna happen right here with this function. This is a custom function that I created on this function right there. So you just need to press here and then add inputs and outputs. I'm gonna show you how this looks like. So basically I send the detected player that is set on the C++ right there, and this is a boolean to tick true or false. And it's very simple. So what happens is, as an input I have the actor, player, and the boolean. Then what I need to do is to get the AI controller of this character with a reference to self, and then get the Blackboard. After that we can access the set value as bool and set value as object. This is very important. We need to make this literal. This is basically make literal name. And this needs to be exactly the same name as we have on the Blackboard. I know I have is player sensed. And for the object, the same, detected actor. And I'm sending the player and whatever is on the input. So that will come there and the player will come there. So as soon as the event is detected by the AIGuard, it will call this event, and then I will modify the Blackboard. In this case, modifying, I think you can do it all of this in C++, you can access the Blackboard, but I haven't even tried because I know it's way easier to do it this through the blueprints, and there's no need to do everything in C++. I'm very fond of C++ and I like to do most of the things in C++, but sometimes it's not really necessary. Right, so with that we will have this and this ready. Now, so what will happen is these two will be set. This will be true and this will be not null, and this branch will happen. Next thing is to do something about this one and about this one. Let's start with this one, which is easier because it's simply to check to change the boolean. So let's open this, and as usual we need a function right there which is receive execute AI. Then from here we can get the Blackboard. Then we can get the set value as bool. Okay, we set this to true, and we can promote this to a variable so we can access from outside. And set this to key. And actually, if we do this way, we can reuse this for other elements inside we can reuse this task if we want to. Not recommended really because it's not very readable, but you can do it. We need to set this to public and connect this. And finally, it's very important to call finish execute with success because it should be success. Another thing you can do is to detect if this is valid, and if it's not valid you can call this with false. Okay, this is completed, so this will be set to true. So next time, if the behavior tree will go right there, and it will see that this is set to true, the Blackboard. We can also like abort, so it won't do any of that to the self. So it will do that, and it will go to the wait. It won't do anything else because it can. Now let's try to make this one, which is basically a stop the player, and that means basically lock the input. Again, we need an receive execute AI. We're gonna get the bound and cast to AIGuard, right? We're gonna get the detected player that we have stored in the C++ class. We can use actually the AIGuard, not the blueprint element. Either way, both will work. Then we can get the controller and cast this to my player controller, because I have a handy function on the main player controller to lock the input or not. So on this, and then lock input. Right. Finally, we need to execute the finished execution with success. And now here we can do the same, finish executes, and set this to false. Pretty much that's it. We have all the nodes ready. Let me show you the locked input that is in main controller. The main player controller has the locked input, which is a blueprint callable, and a locked input. And these two, what they do is just to set this B is input locked and unlock, well, true or false, depending on that. And I use that on some of the move forward. Whenever I use the input, really. So anytime I use that, this was already on the previous files, projects, tutorials. So we have every time. So if this is false, any of those inputs will work. Let's test this out real quick. So let's move that thing. I'm gonna wait until he comes to this waypoint. Okay, he's seeing me, and then if I stop, it will follow me. We could increase maybe the speed of the player, the character. Okay, let's review what happens on the Blackboard. So right now it's on the right branch. It's going to do the follow. So as soon as it sees me, yeah, now no, it hasn't detected me. Why sometimes? Okay, now it's detecting me, so it's following me around, and as soon as it catches me, it will go to the wait. So that's what we wanted, and that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to check Itch.io. You want to get the project files and our Discord. See you next time on the next video. Bye!